Hello, friends. Susan Axelrod here, confidence coach. We are talking about sales this week. How do you feel about selling? I am doing a 5-part series on this topic because of so many conversations that I've had with clients about the fear of sales or how much they hate selling. How can you do business if you don't sell your business? This 5-part series will help give a very brief look at some of the things that you need to know to get confident selling. Yesterday was part 1 of the series, and I talked about knowing your product or service. Now, this may seem funny to you. This may seem strange, like who doesn't know their product or service? But I did a coaching call today with someone who was really smart, really talented, really impassioned, but she didn't really know exactly what thing she was selling of the many things that she does. That was the exact example. I said to her, go watch my episode from yesterday. Today, I'm going to be talking about know your market. The other 3 parts of this series are know your stats and outcomes, know your seminal messaging points. Other people call this the pitch. I call it your seminal messaging points. And finally, get confident about selling. I'll be talking about that in the 5th part of this series. Today, I'm going to be speaking with you about knowing your market. Everything I share or talk about, both here in my lives and in my private coaching one-to-one with individual clients, and in my business accountability group, and any of the workshops or tutorials that I offer, stem from my own personal experience. Mostly my own personal dilemmas of how bad I have been at certain things in the past. As I realized what my weaknesses were and my challenges were in my business, I worked to learn, practice, and grow. Learn, practice, and grow. And that's what I have been doing. Knowing my market in the past was very hard for me because I had a career activity. I did it for 35 years. It was hard for me to not do that, but I was growing in the second half of life another passion business. Now you know I call it intuitive business. So it was hard for me to move from knowing that other market that I had had for so long to the new market that I was moving into. And so I was constantly going back and forth, and I just knew that I was not on my market point. When I looked directly into the camera, I didn't know exactly to whom I was speaking. Now, of course, I do, because I've worked, learned, and grown, and I've practiced this quite a bit. So my market is women in the second half of life. Why? Because that's what I am. I am speaking to women who are in my life experience. I work with women in the second half of life, both on personal confidence, because believe it or not, you can be expert and professional and, or highly talented and, very skilled in your whole career. But then you start doing something differently. You look into the future and you say, who am I? And you become personally less confident. And I work with women in business, women who have been doing something for so long, but now it's their turn. They are unleashed and they are looking to make legacy impact in the second half of life and really using what I call wisdom gleaned and gained to get into business. And so that is my market, women in the second half of life now. Other people are finding me. I have many younger clients. I've had men clients also, not so much recently, but I do have younger women finding me. Several of my clients are younger. But when I do my marketing and sales, I am speaking directly to my market. I call it my cohort, women in the second half of life. And it feels natural and organic. I repeat it over and over. I have personal, private conversations with them. I have group conversations. I do promotional activity like this to them. I am very, very clear on my market. Another way of thinking about your market is what we call B2B or B2C. B2B is business to business. So I'm a business and I'm selling to another business. Or I'm a business and I'm selling directly to, C usually stands for customers. In my case, it could stand for clients, right? For me, I'm much more in B2C. So even though many of my clients are business owners themselves, as clients for me, they are customers or clients, right? I don't speak to them or sell to them in their business capacity. Now, sometimes I do. I have some business clients, they're organizations that have hired me to do certain kinds of work, either some kind of consulting work, or they hire me as a coach to work with several different people inside their business. That's B2B. That's me, the business, selling to the decision maker of another business to bring me in to do something inside their business. B2C is when I am speaking directly to you and you are an individual listening to me now, and I'm telling you, if you're a woman in the second half of life who has, an interest in personal confidence at this time or direction for your business, confident direction for your business, I am the coach for you. How do I know that? Because my clients tell me that they feel more confident after every call. I had 3 coaching calls today. I always ask how people are feeling. Are you feeling better? Are you feeling more clear? Are you feeling more confident? And nearly always I get a yes. That's my work. That's what I do. And I have to measure it in some way so that I can come here to you today and confidently in B2C say to you, if you're looking for a coach right now, I'd love to have you consider me. I have skills, I have tools, and I have testimonials that I can show you about the way I do my work. And I'm happy to offer you a free discovery call. That's selling to me. That's as salesy as I get now. I just let you know exactly what I'm doing. So we're talking about knowing your market. This happened again in one of my calls today, where because the person did different things and had a few different passions, they weren't exactly sure who their market was. This, as I said, has happened to me so much. But unless you get really clear knowing your exact market cohort, it will be hard for you to confidently sell without apologizing, without worrying, without being in fear, without imposing, without feeling like you're pushing or pressuring. When you are in your intuitive space, you're in your passion space, and you know exactly to whom you're speaking and why, then you can easily have a conversation talking about your services, how you do what you do, why you do what you do, what the outcomes are that your clients have had, and easily and comfortably say, I'd love to work with you if this is something you're interested in. And that's really knowing your market. If you have different markets, because as solopreneurs or entrepreneurs, we do we have a little bit of the shiny penny syndrome, right? Or we are multi-talented. We have different skills and different interests. That's perfectly fine. Then you want to know which market you are speaking to directly. If you want to roll out a whole marketing portfolio to one cohort, knowing exactly what you're saying to them, when you're doing it, why you're speaking to them, what the outcomes are, how you can support them and serve them. Roll out a different kind of marketing portfolio over here. Same thing, but knowing that other market, that's okay. I'm not saying that you can only have one market. I do suggest, I do encourage, especially at the beginning, that you do it slowly, that you really get clear on your one key market so you can do this. If you're a woman in the second half of life and you're looking to really turn that passion space into a business, but you have no idea how to make that happen, I'd love to have you contact me. I'm the coach for you. See how easy it is when you know what you want. Now, I am working on something very, very exciting. I'm actually working on a couple of exciting things. One, I don't know if I should say it. Well, one I have gone public with. I'm putting together a trip for women to Sedona. And sneak peek, today, I think I just got confirmation on the hotel that we're going to be using, which is amazing. So that is one of the things I'm speaking about. But my who is still the same. This trip is for women in the second half of life. Some of them will be personal, some of them will be in business, etc. But my cohort, my market is still the same. I've got another thing going on, but I'm really not ready to announce it yet. It's still in the early stages where I'm doing some testing and some surveying and stuff. But it's still the same market, but what those women are doing is a certain type of thing. But bottom line is, it's probably still going to be for women in the second half of life. And so that's another way to understand the know your market piece. If you want to get confident in selling, the second thing I want you to know today is know your market. Are you in B2B? Are you in B2C? Whom are you speaking to? Where are they? What is it that you say to them? How do you show them exactly what you're doing? Unless or until you really get clear on this, it's hard to really confidently and calmly sell. We're all about selling. We have to be. We're in business. You can't do business without sales. Okay? So thank you so much for joining me. Your call to action today is to ask yourself this question. Am I crystal clear on my market? Do I even realize if I'm B2B or B2C? Or is there something else for me? Something in between? Am I a hybrid? Do I really know my market? Ask yourself that question. And tomorrow, please come back and join me for the next part in this 5-part series, which is know your statistics, know your outcomes. It's very, very important because that's the stuff that the best sale is made from. Okay? All right, friends, thank you for joining me, and I'll see you soon.